White meat saves black meat from an all-you-can-eat brown buffet. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. And we've got the Packer mixed colour joke over. There's no sandwiches here, but we almost seen the Niners get sliced and diced. It's time to review Sons of Anarchy Season 4, Episode 9. And this one is called Kiss. And we almost kissed the Niners goodbye.
Yep, there was no Sam Dino, there was no Packer, but there was 3 facts. Fact number 1, first appearance of Galen. I love Galen. I think he's pretty much up there with Jimmy O when it comes to the IRA members.
Yeah, I think him and Jimmy O are like head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yep.
And that's probably to be expected. I think they get a lot more screen time than anyone else, and they're big time players. There is some other IRA members that get screen time, but they're not at the same sort of level as those two. They're more like
And I think with these
minions, so to speak, whereas you felt like Jimmy O and Galen are actual shot callers in the IRA and not just foot soldiers.
Absolutely. And even the ones that are shot calls, like the old ones, I feel like Galen can handle himself. No, I don't feel like it. I know he can.
Can you imagine Mickey O'Rourke trying to box Jax in a field?
No, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Fact number 2, the title refers to the Kiss of Death. And fact number 3, it's the last appearance of the Lobos Lieutenant. That's how desperate we were for facts. Know the guy who delivers the couple of bricks of coke to the Niners? It's the last appearance of him. And that's how desperate we were for facts.
Wait,
folks.
is it his first appearance as well?
Aye, first and last appearance of the Lobo Lieutenant.
Jesus
Never to be
Christ.
seen again. I'm assuming he just went back over the border and a little border scratch.
I thought he was dead.
I thought he was dead, but no. When that grenade launcher blew up the wall, he must have climbed out and was never seen again. So fair enough. But
Sneaky little Mexican, huh?
Chibs decides to bring Juice's trauma, his neck trauma, his hang himself trauma, to Jackie Boy. Doesn't want to bring it to the table and says, Juice, you explain it, big man. Juice explains that, Miles, prison, the cartel, it all went to him and he lost it. Don't really know how he did it, but you know what? He knows it was a mistake and he's not going to do it again. He then Jax tells Juice to fuck off essentially and tells Chibs the club's going to phone him out. Sons don't kill themselves.
Very good quote, very good line for Jax Taylor. And it's true, sons don't kill themselves.
What will happen though in the series finale? Will this come back to bite Jackie Boy?
Plus, well, that's true. And it's like, I mean, how could you really rely on someone to protect you and someone... Can you really rely on someone to save you and have your back if they're willing to kill themselves?
Yeah.
How can you expect someone to die for you if they're willing to take the easy way out?
Like we put up for a poll, if he did hang himself, what would have happened? And I think he would have. I think based off this conversation, he would have got an unmarked grave. Like Clay specifically told him after he gave him the Men of Mayhem patch, right? You put this shit behind you. What? Just do 10 minutes later, tried to hang himself. Like, I'm not denying that Chibs.
I don't know if he'd get an unmarked grave. That seems like something I think they would give. I think that's...
Yeah, but he wouldn't get like the best. He wouldn't get like an Opie send off.
I think he'd get like a prospect send off.
Aye, well, I think no, Halfsack got a decent send off.
He got a fully patched send off.
All right, well, name me a prospect send off.
Feeling. Didn't get one.
He got through. He got burned in a field.
Great, isn't it?
Aye, great wee bit of barbecue, but I think just based off Jax's reaction and the fact Chibs knew if they brought it to the table, he'd probably be floated out. Just tells you what they feel towards suicide.
True, but I also feel if it was that serious, then Chibs wouldn't have kept it between him and Jax.
I think that's more to show he cares about Juice. If this was like fucking feeling, he'd be like, brother, your time is up.
That's a bit different though, because he's a prospect.
Alright, let's just say Filthy Phil when he patches in, or Miles if he was still alive. Is Chibs really going to be like, aye, Jackie Boy, I remember I killed some guy in Omaha? No, he doesn't. No, because he cares about Juice. That's the point. But I like the fact he talked about what he did in Omaha, and he's like, brother,
That shit there broke me, Jackie Boy.
that shit broke me, Jackie Boy, and you're killing me swinging for a tree myself. And Jax is like, yeah, there's one thing thinking about doing it and actually doing it.
Which is very true.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I mean, it's...
I mean, you could think about the possibility of robbing a bank, but thinking about it's not going to put you in jail for 30 years.
No.
Attempting it would.
And you know what? I like the fact that Chibs has dived into his history here. Not exactly like, he does it every episode, but I like this story. This is good development here. For Chibs, like, actually explaining that here, he sees parallels with him and Juice, but obviously no one really knows why Juice is hanging himself. It is just hanging himself. What do you think it's down to? Do you think it's actually down to like killing Miles, or do you think it's because of the ratting thing, or is it just a combination of everything? Probably just combo.
Combo, I'd say, aye.
Combo of everything. But at this point, Chib says, I'll keep an eye on him, Jackie boy. I'll keep an eye on the main man. Jackson speeds off to meet with Clay and Luis Lopez, man. And Alvarez, where they're talking about there's 24 Lobo gang members in town making alliances for their coke. And they don't know who the deals are with. But then Jax puts together that, well, we know the triads are alright, but what about the Niners? The Niners have been awfully quiet the last few phone calls we've made, so they put it together.
To be honest, they've been awfully quiet the last few seasons. I've not seen much Niners.
Apart from start of season 3. That's the last time we've seen Leroy. Here, I get it, right? If Leroy's dealing with Lobos, it puts him at odds, but who the fuck the Suns think they are just to rock up on Niner turf and be like, here, you guys can't deal with him because we're with Galindo? I think it's very demanding.
No, I mean, it is, but I think due to the fucking tension and the rivalry that the cartels have, I think if the Niners were going to deal with Lobos, then it would probably mean that the Suns can't have anything to do with the Niners. They could never have a working relationship.
No, they couldn't, but it seems... I mean, you hear it two ways. It's weird, or it's a good courtesy call to be like, here, we're giving you the decision to make.
Well, I mean, was it really a courtesy call? Because if they didn't make the decision that Suns and the Galindo cartel wanted, then they would have been wiped out.
Yeah, it was kind of underhanded tactics. It was like, here,
they're forcing
you've got a decision. Then Jax is like,
well, you don't really. We're making it for you.
Yeah, these guys will. And then enter fucking 36 lawnmowers. Undo under the Mexican canna.
A fair warning would have been if Suns approached them and says, look, we know you guys are working with the Lobos. We're just here to tell you that if you continue that working relationship, things could turn bad between us, and therefore you guys have got a new rivalry with the Galindo cartel. But that's not what happened. They basically went there and says, look, we're working with the Galindo cartel, and if you keep working with Lobos, we're just going to eliminate you right here, right now.
Yeah, Luis, pretty much from the get-go in this conversation, says, well, we'll probably have to slaughter the Niners, which Clay then says, relationships are overrated. Jax clearly does not want all this blood, and I think that's the correct decision. You can't just turn, your own patch, so to speak, into a fucking war zone.
Yeah, but it wasn't really smart, though, for Leroy to spit on Luis.
It wasn't, but we'll get to that in a wee minute. I was more on about the previous conversation, because we have to talk about...
But Clay just shows that he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. Clay...
Well, he does care about himself. Like,
if this was Clay in Season 3, like we've seen in Season 3, he didn't want a war with the Mayans. He actually shot down Chibs for suggesting a war, remember? We just went through a war. But Clay at this point, I mean, if he's going to kill Piney, if he's going to kill Tara, what's a couple of dead Niners to him?
True, but, I mean, did he really care, or did he just think that getting in a war with the Mayans wasn't good for Sun's business?
Yeah, but at this point, realistically, I don't think getting in an all-out war here is good for the business right now. But
it wasn't going to be an all-out war, it was going to be a massacre.
Yeah, but they didn't know what was... Yeah, but if you kill a couple of them... Well, put it this way.
You're not killing a couple, you're killing the fucking all the main ones.
Yeah, but he didn't know... Yeah, but he didn't know what was going to happen at this point.
Who didn't know?
Clay?
He did know. Luis says he's going to kill them all, and Clay was like, go ahead.
Aye, but there's no guarantee. If the Niners could be like... The Niners could have found out and got the back. Well, they already had the back in the Lobo. There's no guarantee they're all going to get killed.
Well, did Clay make an attempt to stop Luis from killing them? Yes or no?
No.
Right then.
Because he knew it had to be done, in his point of view. Well, Jax is like, he didn't want that to happen. This ain't Mexico, man. We can't do it like this, but... he takes a call for Galen around the table that's in his own house. What do you make of the makeshift table in his house?
It was better once Gemma left. I felt like Gemma was sticking around like a bad smell trying to overhear, and Clay's like, get out. Yeah,
she mentioned Piney, and then that's when Clay went, fuck off. Bobby then says...
Go deal with your plants.
Yeah, Bobby then says, yeah, like every deal with these guys has been doing well, and then Jax just jumps down his throat. He's like, if you got a problem with that, turn in your goddamn patch. No, shut up. And Clay was like, I've taught him well, but yeah, you know what? I think Bobby has been acting like a bit of a whiny bitch.
True, but I mean, Bobby considered it. Like when Jax mentioned turning your patch, Bobby was like, that is an option.
Yeah, but I think he has been. Like at the end of the day, they floated it in. Yes, right. It's the wrong decision, right? But mooning about it at every fucking opportunity is not going to get anything done, is it? Like, no. I mean, look when Clay and Jax butted head in previous seasons. Jax never, like, moaned like this.
Not to this extent.
Like,
didn't really come across as whiny. He just tried to kind of, like, reason people to side with him and not Clay.
like we talked about in previous episodes, Bobby wanted an officer challenge without really giving you much of a reason to vote for him. It was kind of just here.
Yeah, I can't vote for that guy, so vote for me.
Yeah,
I mean, Clay's probably thinking of this, right? You know, best thing for me would be if Bobby did get sent down for Luann's murder.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been.
This annoying fat fucking Elvis impersonator.
Even though I agree with Bobby, he needs to explain his reasoning. We know his reasoning, but he's not telling club members his reasoning. Well, for all his reason is that Clay doesn't fucking support good food at the table or something, man. And Bobby wants all the best food, that big fat bastard. Maybe he's getting too big and the cut size ain't fucking fitting him. But Clay receives a phone call for Galen. He's in Belfast. And he's nervous about supplying guns for the cartel. He talks about the fact they want, anti-aircraft, RPGs, LMGs, all these massive guns. And he's like, they're headline making weapons, Clay. Clay says, it's all going to be south of the border, big man. And any deal we broker will be through me. Nobody else. I'll be running things, big man. He makes that perfectly clear.
And that's what Galen wants to hear, because Galen only trusts Clay. But what a line. Those are headline making weapons, Clay.
And I can't disagree with him.
No, they are. I mean, those are weapons that will get the front page news for sure.
I don't think Galen gives a shit about headlines. I think it's just he doesn't want to work with Specs, in his words. He hates them. He doesn't want to work with any colour he can't see through, which I'm pretty sure Jack says in a few season time. Let's be real, right? I remember in season 6, he kept padding off guns to the Suns. He was like, KG9, brother. It's like, what was he says? Because it was a part of the school shooting. He's like, the hottest gun on the street, it'll triple in price because of the school shooting. So he clearly doesn't give a fuck about headlines. It's all about making money. But he just doesn't want to work with these guys. It's the same reason in season 6 he doesn't want to work with Marks. The Irish are racist. But he can talk about headlines, but realistically, it's not like the IRA here.
But to be fair, he didn't really want to work with Jax either, and he's white.
No, he didn't. I'm not denying that, but you can clearly see he's willing to work with Jackson, like Chibs, etc., way over like other factions that are of colour. By the end of the day, if you're selling AKs or RPGs, you're not still selling guns.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah.
It's all going to bring heat.
I mean, I'd say heroin's worse than cocaine, but at the end of the day, it's fucking still class A drugs, isn't it? But you know what? Great introduction for Galen. And pretty much immediately just puts the guy on the map, doesn't it?
Yeah, puts him to the top of the ladder.
And we go for that to Margaret Murphy receiving an empty letter package because there's paper, but there's no text on the letters. Obviously, Unser's classic move of here, I'll just put some paper in this to make it look like it's actually full of...
Well, it worked for a while.
Well, it did until, as soon as she lifted it, thought there was paper in it, opened it, shit, there ain't.
Yeah, but how long has that been sitting in there and her thinking the letters are safe? Or do you think she's never really looked at them?
I think this is the first time she's actually lifted it up here, but you know what?
Possible, like. Yeah, but my point is, I think if there was nothing inside it, she'd have maybe noticed it sooner. Problem
is, though, even if Tara doesn't check them, you try to tell me Margaret Murphy would have took these and never opened them. She'd have opened them and went, hold on, here's just blank fucking paper. Why does she want me to give A4 sheets of paper to Piney Winston? That's what she could have been thinking. Piney Winston. Roosevelt sees the marks on Juice's neck. He's like, Juice, what the hell did you do? And Juice says, I want out, I'm done. Roosevelt reports this back to Lincoln Potter, and he's like, well, Juice is unstable, doesn't really matter, because we've got a new lead. And he plays the tape of Bobby telling Otto that Georgie killed Luann. And they're like, so we finger Bobby for the murder. He's like, no, not exactly, because Georgie is still alive. Potter then goes to visit Otto and reveals this, and Otto can't believe it. And you know what? See, like the more you rewatch it, I think Bobby does a lot of questionable shit. This, like, lying to fucking Otto, I just don't get.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary. It wasn't nice there.
Like, it's exactly what opened up Rico. I mean, you can't establish the present without the past, and this is exactly what shafted it. I'm here, and you know what? I'm not saying ratting. I don't like rats, right? But I think out of every TV show I've watched, I think Otto had probably the best reason to rat.
I don't even feel Otto's a rat because he got fucking shafted over and over by the club. Technically, for me, they ratted him first. I know they didn't get him. I know they didn't really rat in terms of like betraying him, in terms of giving information that gets him sent down, but they fucked him over. They didn't give a shit. So it's about time he fucked them over.
Yeah, and Potter points out that Otto suffered more pain and suffering for his organisation than any felon he's ever known. And you know what? It's going to continue, and I absolutely totally agree with it. Anyway, let's get to the Niner meet at the garage. So yeah, it's a reunion. Clay points out to Leroy that you're rolling a little deep for a pickup. And he's like, so are you. And Clay gives like the the smuggest fucking smirk here, like, yeah. Shit's about to go down. Jax explains that you've got to stop dealing with Lobo Sonora because that puts at odds. Because we're with Galindo. And Leroy's like, you don't tell us what to do. And he's like, yeah, I don't, but he might. And then enters Luis Lopez with Alvarez. And I think at this point, like, I think Rafi's there, but is this not at the point where like the Mayans need like a VP and other characters that we know?
Yeah, I think we need. I mean, I like Rafi. Rafi's alright, but we need more established characters. No, I don't get that handlebar guy. It's not like they just threw him in for one scene and then replaced him with another actor or whatever. He's always there. So why have they never give him any sort of development? Why is he not getting any lines?
The best thing it gets for him is he like sniffs the money when he hands it to people. He did it with Nero. He's done it with Jax. He's done it with Clay. The guy just likes sniffing money. I don't know if it's a fetish.
Even if the guy can't speak English, would it really hurt to give him like the odd fucking line of Spanish that he says to Alvarez or something?
See.
Aye.
Muy bien. Exactly, man. But Leroy agrees to this meet. He does spit on Luis. Then Jax is like, shut the hell up and I'll keep you alive. And then they agree to set a meet with Lobo Sonora. And it'll be an ambush. They're going to wipe Lobo's northern network off the map. Gemma then visits Piney, breaks down, you stupid old man. I told you. And you know what she did? What did Piney think was going to happen, man? I think it's a bit delusional for Piney that I think this was going to go according to plan. She phones Unser. Unser's like, Clay cannot be stopped. He's a wounded animal. He's striking out at threats. Gemma's like, well, you know what? He needs us more than ever, Wayne. And then Wayne's like, no, he doesn't, because we need to phone the police. The next corpse you're going to be standing over is the mother of your grandchild, referring to Tara, not Junkie Wendy. But Gemma's like, no, we made him like this. We can save him.
We can unmake him.
I'm sorry. I think at this point, Gemma is purely doing it for herself.
Yeah, because, I don't know, she's got quite a lot to lose as well.
Now, maybe you could argue with Clay dead, realistically, secrets wouldn't come out, but how is Clay not too far gone at this point?
Yeah, as soon as he kills a member, like, that's him done, in my eyes. There's no coming back for that.
Like, I think if he's willing to, he's killing Piney, right? Do you think he's going to do something to Tara? What's stopping him from, like, I think, if you don't think he's going to kill Gemma, then fair enough. But in terms of Unser, why wouldn't he kill Unser?
Yeah, if he's willing
Unser's been, like, the most threatening other than Piney.
If he's willing to kill the first 9 member, and he's willing to kill not only Jax's wife, but the mother of Jax's kids.
He's always said my grandchild. That's sort of perfectly.
If he's willing to do that, then who's he not willing to kill?
Yeah, like, I think that's why you've got to be, like, fucking...
I'd say Gemma's probably the only one safe for Clay.
And even then, she takes a wee batter into the face. Anyway, the Lobos show up, the meet's happening, then out of nowhere we get the ambush. But the ambush doesn't go according to plan because the Lobos whip out fucking grenade launchers and start firing fucking grenade launchers across this like multi-story car park. Then they start blasting holes in the wall and escape. I think they only lost about 3 members here.
They did well here, only to lose 3 members because they were seriously outgunned, outnumbered.
This is...
Well, I say outgunned, one of them did have a fucking rocket launcher, a grenade launcher.
This is poor though for fucking Galindo. I mean, I guess they couldn't use an RPG like, but to only kill 3 and actually escape this situation is fucking mind-boggling. But you know what? It highlights the fact that Lobo Sonora aren't a joke and they are to be messed with. Clay and then Luis step outside and he's like, I got the solution to your doctor problem, essay. And he gives him the burner cell phone. Clay's like, well, who are we going to pin this on? He's like, given our current circumstances, I don't think that's going to be a problem pinning it on outside heat.
Yeah, I think
it can't blow back on me.
You've got multiple options here.
Yeah, well, literally any fucking Mexican that belongs to Lobo Sonora.
You know, what rubbed me the wrong way about this thing is when Clay asked for it, is the fact that he was getting charged. You'd think the cartel would have done it as a goodwill gesture because it could potentially unravel and affect them.
True.
It's the fact that Clay had to pay like
35 grand.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money for what he could have done himself.
You'd think the cartel though would have took care of it.
Yeah.
We've seen Clay's work. It's a bit sloppy, isn't it?
I guess. Shotgun to the chest of Tara. Could that have happened? No, he's left it to the Mexicans. He's left it to the cartel, damn it. Gemma then confronts Tara about the letters and says, you have no idea what you've opened here. And I guess that's very true. I mean, Piney never even got the letters.
Yeah, he never had them.
Just talked about he had the letters. So at this point, it could be good night. But here, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Jax and Clay sitting down, discussing things at the table. Jax says, well, you know what? We need out of guns. We need to come up with an exit, drugs, sorry. We need to come up with an exit strategy and get the hell out.
Well, in fairness, Jax did one out of guns in season 1, so...
He did, so you know
There's
what?
a bit of truth to that.
Clay says, you said you'd follow me the whole way on this. Well, you said that the cartel would be good for the club. Oh, how naive is fucking... I know Jax is trying to spin it like, here, you said it'd be good, so it's alright if I job out the deal early. How naive's Jax? He knew this was fucking shit.
Yeah, plus wasn't Jax the one saying to Bobby earlier, either get on board or turn in your patch?
Which Clay said.
Hasn't Jax says that, look, we all voted it in, so now we need to accept it? Jax is kind of going against his word here. He's saying, Jax knew it was going to be shit. That's why he was so against it in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a bit lame here for Jax just trying to pretend that I only went for this deal, Clay, because you promised it would be good for the club. No, you only went for the deal because you had your own deal of getting out.
New exit strategy, big man. No, that's exactly why he did it. He says
Clay's not willing to take this lying down.
No, but he points out, right, we'll do this big deal, then I'm out. I'm riding out. And it looks like we both lied, Jax says. Clay then says that Tara is clouding his mind, and then Jax is like, starts gritting his teeth. And I think if his early
He didn't quite say it like that.
No, he didn't. He said it much more cruder, but I think this is like the first time we see, not Clay bottling it, but I think in the early seasons, Clay wouldn't have like backed down for this. But he almost like sunk back. It's almost like he was put in his place here by Jax.
Yeah, well, Clay did threaten to kill Jax in season 2, like, so.
Yeah, remember that promise I made. But yeah, Jax looks at Clay. He leans in. He's like, you ever talk that way about Tara again? I will pound those half-dead hands so far on this table, you won't be able to hold that gavel again. And Clay like leaned back as Jax leaned in. And yeah, did Clay's arse drop here?
I think it did. I think he was a wee bit intimidated here by Jackson.
He was absolutely intimidated. Gemma then confronts Clay at none less than a play park, the swing set.
Yes.
And then as Jax returns home, he says, I'm going to come up north with you, Tara, to Oregon. Clay just lies through his teeth here to Gemma. And you know what? I think the title reference to this being called Kiss of Death is probably the kiss that Gemma and Clay share, because he's like, I promise I'm not going to hurt Tara. And then as soon as Gemma leaves, he makes the fucking phone call on the burner.
I mean, he couldn't even wait 10 minutes.
No, you can't wait 10 seconds. I mean, was he ever not going to put... But see, once he makes this deal with the cartel about here, we need a hitman to kill Tara, he can't back out of it. Because they're going to be like, well, why are you backing out of it? If she needs dealt with, she needs dealt with.
Suppose he could have tried. Been like, I thought she had information, but she doesn't. You know, could have. I mean, he wasn't really that bothered. He was like, well, if you have to do it.
Would it not look weak though if he goes to the cartel here? The information she's got only really threatens me. It's got nothing to do with our business. It could out me rather than out us. And they'd be like, oh, Clay, old man, what's that all about?
True.
But here, if Clay had any shred of decency left, that's what he would have said.
Contents could embarrass.
Contents could cripple. And that's where it ends, guys. With a cliffhanger of Clay giving the phone call to Romeo's contracted killer. And here, I think we'll probably put up for a poll. What was worse? Killing Piney or putting this hit out on Tara? What in your eyes do you think was worse? I'm going to say the Tara, because with Piney...
Piney did kind of back him into a corner.
It was blackmail.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not saying Piney deserved to die, but Piney must have known deep down he was playing a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Blackmailing Clay into giving up his big master fucking plan of running drugs and getting money before leaving.
But
and then Piney puts himself up in the cabin where he's away. There's no one around. He's on his own. I mean, it's almost like Piney was like saying to Clay, "Yeah, come and kill me. Give me your best shot." Made that a bit easy.
No, I obviously Clay does go to the cartel about Tara before he kills Piney. I think it would have been an interesting dynamic if the attempt that happened on Tara before Piney died. Would Piney have clocked on? that, oh fuck, this guy's went after Tara. I'm serious shit here.
I know, but then I don't think Penny gives him the option. I think Penny just takes it into his own hands and tells Jax, wouldn't he?
I probably would have done that, guys. There's a lot of what ifs, but you know what? That's what's great about it. It's all discussion here on the channel. There's a lot of talking points, and that's what makes the show so good. There's a lot of that shit going on, but I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10 as we're neck deep in a war with Lobo Sonora. So I'm getting it an 8. What are you giving it?
Alright, good episode. Enjoyed it. I'm giving it an 8 as well. Very solid.
Yeah.
Always good.
You know what? I think season 4 is probably the most consistent season.
Yeah, it's just...
I think for a season it does. I mean, I'm not saying Piney and Kozik aren't major deaths, but it doesn't really rely on like massive deaths throughout it. It's more just like consistently uneasy war. Clay's heel turn. I mean, I think if you look at the last 3 seasons, there's a lot of major deaths that help it, but this season just has like continuous action. But anyway, quote the episode. Headline making weapons. Almost gave it to Sons Don't Kill Themselves. 2 very good quotes here. And then MVP, we're going to give it to Jax. He single-handedly kept the Niners alive.
He did.
Which Bobby, called him out on and said, well done. And then also, I guess we'll need to talk about this here. He did reveal to Clay that Bobby told him about the whole fact that, I know you're out, big man. I know Clay doesn't want Opie and he wants me. So again, Clay not want Opie as president, which is weird. Like, why would
another deal that Clay isn't holding up?
Yeah, so Jax is. I guess Jax is valid to job Clay out there in that regard. But
does Clay perhaps maybe he does legit care about the club then if he feels like, because if he didn't care then
it's weird though.
He wouldn't give a shit who left after he's out.
If Bobby wants out of drugs and Opie doesn't really, because Opie for it, then maybe you'd think Clay would view Opie as better than
president. But then again, if he's out, then
doesn't really give a fuck.
What difference does it make to Clay if the club's making money on it?
True. Anyway, guys, that is it for this episode. We're both giving it an 8 out of 10. Up next, we have got hands. And I think Clay is going to throw some hands on Gemma. So make sure you tune into that. But until then, peace.